So, do you have an issue with a prophet being naked in front of people?
I have an issue with anyone being naked in front of women and children.
For any reason?
For any reason, yeah. And especially if they're walking for 3 years, completely naked.
So
would you not have an issue with that?
So let me just ask the question. So
it has to be a dialogue, you know. If you ask me a question, then you allow me to ask you a question as well.
I'll answer your question, but I just want to establish.
Okay,
let me just ask my question. So we've obviously said, he said, like it's wrong for a prophet to be naked in front of people.
Anyone, not only a prophet. Right. I said anyone.
So
especially for 3 years.
Could God have a justified reason for causing a prophet to be naked in front of people?
You tell me, I don't know.
No, I'm asking.
You tell me.
You're the one who critics seems to bring, that's why I'm asking you.
But you see, if God had a reason, yes, the question still remains, why 3 years?
So your question is now with the duration?
Yes, so it's all of it. It's all of it. Is the duration, is a prophet especially, being naked, all three things.
So a prophet shouldn't be naked?
For 3 years.
So it doesn't matter?
I just told you all three things. Which part of that you don't understand?
Yeah, I'm breaking it down.
Well, I'm breaking it down for you, three different things. All the above are the reasons I disagree with it.
Because I'm going to obviously address point by point, but I want to first establish.
Okay, so 3 points established them. Go on.
Yeah, so my point one, is it wrong for a prophet to be naked in front of people?
Yes.
Under any circumstance?
Well, unless he's under duress.
Unless he's under duress?
Yeah.
Okay. What's duress?
Duress means you're forced to do it.
Okay.
Like somebody puts a gun to your head.
Okay.
Yes, under duress.
Do you believe that God would instruct or cause a situation for someone to be naked?
That's the same question you're asking.
Is it immoral for a prophet to be
anyone
naked?
Who walks naked? Forget about religious people, even the ones who do not believe in a religion. Yes? Why do you not find anyone in Speaker's Corner walking naked? Why? Because we differentiate ourselves from the animals. The animals don't have an issue walking without clothes because that's how they are. But we as human beings are not animals, we are different from them. Okay?
But even if there's a valid
the reason you wouldn't want yourself or any of your women or children to walk naked outside, yes, let alone for three years, you wouldn't even tolerate it for 3 hours or 3 minutes maybe in front of the public. Okay? If you as an individual who's not a prophet, who is not chosen by God to basically impart and teach other people both about God and about morality, if you wouldn't do it, then why would anybody else do it? Now, listen to this. There's a difference between somebody walking naked completely by force or maybe out of even need, you know. Some people maybe might not have clothes to wear. If they do it, or maybe some people are mad. If they do it, that's different. Okay? So, one question you still haven't answered is that, would you do it, would you walk naked for even 3 hours?
If God told me to do it. But
what is that? If God told you to do it?
This is my point, because you're the one who brought it up as a criticism, right? So I'm trying to understand, because you said the 3 years, but I'm saying, okay, if it was for like 10 seconds, does that...
Well, I told you 3 hours even. I wouldn't tolerate it.
So even 10 seconds?
Well, 10 seconds, if nobody saw him, that's different, isn't it?
Can I just put something that has come up and we need to go?
Oh, you need to go.
I do apologize. Next one, inshallah.
Okay, no problem, inshallah.
Okay, look after yourself. I do apologize.
Take care, brother.
Okay. Because obviously if I give an explanation, but I'm just trying to understand because you raised it as a point of contention, so I'm just trying to first
I gave you 3 reasons already. You keep repeating yourself.
Yeah, but you
now,
said,
can you tell me... Wait, can you please answer my question?
Yes.
You said you would do it only if God told you to do it.
Yes.
Okay? In other words, otherwise you wouldn't do it. Am I right?
Yeah. So
if God didn't tell you... hear me out.
That's why I asked you, do you think God would...
Hear me out, and then you answer.
Right.
So you're saying you will only do it if God told you to do it. Am I right?
Yeah.
Otherwise you wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
Can I ask you why you wouldn't do it otherwise?
Why wouldn't I do it?
Yes.
Because I would feel embarrassed.
Why?
Because I'm exposed.
Why? Why would you feel embarrassed if you were exposed?
Because everyone wears clothes, and that's the social norm.
So you're saying if everyone was not wearing clothes, you'll be okay with that?
Well, we have societies where people wear minimal clothing. You can go to Africa or places where...
No, you don't need to go Africa. You can go to nudity beach here in Europe.
So therefore...
So would you be okay over there if everyone else is naked?
If it's a social norm, we have social norms.
Would you be okay then?
In Scotland, people wear kilts. I wouldn't feel comfortable wearing...
Kilt is not being naked,
yeah, but
come on,
some
we
people
know that.
wouldn't wear a kilt because they feel it's like a skirt. So it depends on your social norm of what you've been brought up to. So that's what I say.
No, not social norm. I'm saying if everyone in a social norm beach where it's a nudist beach, would you then be naked there? You'll be okay with that?
My social norm has been to be brought up wearing clothes.
Alhamdulillah. You see, that is what I wanted to hear.
Yeah, that's fine.
The reason you will disagree with being naked in public is because that is something you consider to be moral.
I didn't say it was immoral. I just.
Oh, you don't consider being naked immoral?
So you believe being naked is immoral?
In front of public, yes.
In front of public.
Why would it not be?
It doesn't matter the reason.
You know what they'll charge you with if you were walking naked?
So are you saying
public indecency?
So are you saying,
wait. Public indecency is what you will be charged with if you were walking around naked without. I think there's certain exceptions where they give you permission to go and cycle around naked.
So are you saying?
It's in newspapers and all they do.
That's why. Yeah, but that's why I said to you. Then I asked about God because I said, do you think God would instruct someone to be naked or cause a situation for them to be naked?
To be honest with you,
because if you ask me, if God's,
I would really like to hear the reason why God would want somebody to walk naked, completely naked, in front of men, women, and children for 3 whole years. Okay. Can you please tell me why?
All right. So if there's a valid reason,
I want to know what it is. Don't say if, maybe, but, can you just get to the point?
All I'm asking is because
I want to know. I can't think of a valid reason for 3 years. Yes. Can you please tell me why would your God want Isaiah to walk 3 years naked in public?
Yes, but I'm going to answer your question.
I've answered your question. I don't know why. I can't think of any reason why God would want anyone to walk naked.
We started because I asked you a question because you brought it up to someone else.
Yeah.
So my question was, you asked me if God said to me I should walk around naked, would I do it? Yeah. And I said if God told me to do it, yes. Yeah. Then you said you insinuated it would be an immoral act. Right? Yeah. So then my question would be, if you believe it's an immoral act, would God instruct, do you believe God would instruct someone or cause a situation for someone to create and be in a situation of an immoral act?
That is a question you need to ask. Sorry, you need to answer.
Yeah, but that's why I'm trying to get your perspective. Because
I don't know. I've already answered your question.
If I answer, I want to get your understanding first.
Paper boy, I've already answered your question.
Yes.
I said I can't think of any valid reason why God Almighty would want to impose upon his prophet or any being, any human, to walk about naked for 3 years. You've asked me this question, I've answered like 3 times at least now. Yes. So please stop asking me the same question. I've already answered. Now you have to answer the question. Right. So now the question you need to answer is this. What is the reason that God has asked or imposed on Isaiah to walk about naked for 3 years? Without you asking me a counter question, can you please answer that?
So the story was, obviously God.
You know about this story? About Isaiah walking naked for 3 years? Can you bring up the verse? Let's read that. Maybe we can read from the passage.
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. Chapter 1. Yeah, bring it up while he's telling me the reason.
So obviously desolation was coming to Israel, and God wanted to use a physical parable of what is going to happen to them. So he instructed him to walk around to demonstrate of what their situation will be if they do not repent. And he actually says this in the Bible. God says this, or is this what you are trying to imply? Yeah, I'm paraphrasing the story because we're going to look at the verse to see what was actually said. But you said the reasoning, so I'm giving you the reasoning because that's what I was trying to ask and establish for you. So the reason is God wants to give a parable. Yes, a physical one. A real life parable. Yes. Or basically he wants to show them the meaning of what will happen. Sorry, to show them the consequence. Yes. Of their unrepentance. Of their disbelief in God. Yes. Yes? In other words, God couldn't have just said it. He needed someone like Isaiah to demonstrate it for them. Well, we see, and let me find you a quote from the Bible. Because God uses different ways to interact with people. Because God, when he wants to instruct a message, when he wants to give a message or instruct a command, he normally tells them, like the 10 Commandments. Yes? Why couldn't he do that to the people of Israel? Well, he uses different ways because we have the prophet Jeremiah, who for several years, he had to mime basically what the destruction that was coming to Israel. So basically, he made like, you know, when you see the little puppets, he did loads of, like on the street where the people have the strings and the puppets dance around. And
he became a puppeteer?
Something like that.
Okay.
So he did different things like that.
But that's not something to be ashamed of.
Well, God,
being a puppeteer.
All I'm saying is God gives different ways to spread the message, not just to say. Sometimes prophets would say to the king, repent, otherwise
By the way,
happen.
Would it be fair on Isaiah to do this?
Would it be fair on Isaiah?
Yeah. Would it be fair on Isaiah to walk naked?
Oh, read the passage.
Sorry, to be imposed on him to walk naked. Isaiah has been going about naked and you should have at least looked into it. So now your whole thing about Israel goes out the window.
Yeah, but it's...
The reason is not Israel, yeah?
But still...
not still. It's not for Israel.
It doesn't matter.
It does matter. That was the whole point.
Yeah, but the whole point is, even if the country has changed, then the moral of why he did it is still the same.
Would it be fair
to show them what was going to happen to them?
Okay, so answer the question. Would it be fair on Isaiah?
Would it be fair on him?
Yeah. Because he's the one who went through the embarrassment of walking naked.
Well, I think...
And I'm sure he had family and he had children who must have actually also borne that embarrassment along with him. Imagine if God told you to be walking naked around the earth. Yes? Okay. You have family. You have your wife. You have your children. Yes? Wouldn't they feel offended as well? When somebody in the society would ask them, why is your daddy walking naked around? Yes? They will have to actually answer to them. Okay. All this, it doesn't just stop with you, it goes on through your, basically your progeny and your family.
Yes.
So all of these people are, in other words, offended.
Yes.
Hence the question to you, which you need to answer is was it fair on Isaiah?
Was it fair on Isaiah?
Yeah.
Well, I believe if he's a believer, then people are willing to do the will of God. So that's why I asked you the question, is if you have an issue with it, do you have an issue with God causing a situation for a prophet to be naked?
Okay. So in other words, you're saying that if God instructed him, you wouldn't have a problem.
Yes.
If God instructed you to walk naked, you wouldn't have a problem. Yes? So if God instructed Prophet Muhammad to marry Aisha at the age of 9, you wouldn't have a problem. Same thing, right? Because you guys always bring this up, isn't it? No, it's not a changing topic. No, wait. Hold on. Paper boy, it's not a changing topic. I want to show you to be consistent in your arguments.
Well, I'll address that later. But we're talking about situations that God...
So answer the question. Is it fair on Isaiah? Is it fair?
I gave an answer.
No, I'm asking... I didn't ask you whether he'll be willing to do it. Obviously, if he's a believer in God, he'll be willing to do it.
If he's happy to do it,
the question is, would it be fair on him and his family?
If he's willing to do it...
would it be fair on his family, though?
If he is willing to do it...
I know he's willing to do it. Would it be fair on his family?
If he was willing to do it, his family would be happy with him to do it.
But that's an assumption, right?
My point is...
That's an assumption.
But my point is, do you disagree with that?
I don't find that logic in God instructing and forcing someone to walk naked for 3 years in order just to make a point.
So what if it was like 10 minutes?
Doesn't matter.
It doesn't matter at the time.
If God wanted to tell someone that this is what is going to happen to the Egyptians and Ethiopians, then he could have just told them. Why the need to impose it upon a prophet of God to walk naked for 3 years?
Okay. But you said it doesn't matter the length of time if it was 10 minutes, 5 minutes.
No, length of time is very important as well.
Okay. Why is that?
Because if it was just for 10 seconds and nobody saw him, or even 10 minutes when nobody saw him, then it really, how many people can see a naked man in 10 minutes?
Okay.
How many people are there? But in 3 years, you might talk about the whole country.
Okay.
It might be in all the newspapers, in all the television programs. You know what I mean? If it was today.
Okay.
Today, things can actually get out of hand very quickly.
Okay.
So anyway, look, if you want to justify it.
The reason why I asked you this is because when we go to Bukhari, it says, whilst Allah's messenger
I knew he had
was
something up his
carrying
sleeve.
stones with the people of... Actually, let me go find the other one. Wait. Now, let me find this hadith. Because this is why I asked you. And
I knew you had something up your sleeve,
see whether you contradict yourself.
Okay, go on. Sorry, let me just put this away. Where's Nazim gone? Yeah, sure.
Okay, so it says, this is in Bukhari,
Yeah.
Hadith 3404. It says, Allah's messenger said, Moses was a shy person and used to cover his body completely because of his extensive shyness. One of the children of Israel hurt him by saying, he covers his body in this way because he has some defect in his skin, either leprosy or scrotal hernia, or he has some other defect. Allah wished to clear Moses of what they said about him. So one day whilst Moses was in seclusion, he took off his clothes and put them on a stone and started taking a bath. When he had finished the bath, he moved towards his clothes so as to take them. But the stone took his clothes and fled. Now, who here believes stones can run with people's clothes?
Well, if you can believe God can die, why? So what's the problem in stones moving?
So now,
seriously, come on. Is that the best you could do? By the way, are you using this to justify Isaiah?
So now he believes stones can run.
Yes.
So now, when he had finished,
if God wants it, why not?
When he had finished,
if God gives the ability to stone to run, why not?
He moved towards his clothes so as to take them, but the stone took his clothes and fled. Moses picked up his stick and ran after the stone, saying, "O stone, give me my garment," till he reached a group of Bani Israel who saw him naked and found him in the best of what Allah had created and cleared him of what they had accused him of.
Alhamdulillah.
The stone had stopped there, and Moses took and put on his garment on and started hitting the stone with his stick. By Allah, the stone still has some traces of the hitting 3, 4, or 5 marks. Okay. So stones have marks from a stick.
Yeah, why not?
So
have you never seen that?
The thing is this, now your prophet...
So your emphasis was on the stone.
Your God has caused the stone to take Moses' clothes, for him to be naked and to run across the people could have seen, and he comes to a group of people.
Yes.
So therefore, your own God has caused a prophet to be exposed so that people can see, and the scrotal hernia is in your testicles.
Yes.
So they could see very clearly his testicles. Okay. So this is why I asked you originally.
So is that a statement, or let me answer it?
I'm going to finish.
Okay, good.
This is why when I started, I said, do you have a issue with God causing a situation for a prophet to be naked? That's why I asked him that.
Okay.
Because now he's going to do mental somersaults and backflips to explain why this situation was allowed for Moses now to be naked, which he agreed was immoral.
Whom are you talking to?
Talking to the audience.
Okay, so basically you want to justify Isaiah's 3 years of nakedness with this.
I didn't want to justify it. He asked me the question, would I do it? I said yes, if God told me to. I said, does he have a problem with it? So I'm not using it to
By the way, you're talking to them again? I'm here.
I'm just saying it to the audience.
Yeah, this is not a church.
I'm not using it as
not preaching here.
I never use it as a... When he asked me the question, would I do it if God told me to? I said yes.
Okay, first and foremost...
I asked him, is there any conditions that God would permit a prophet to be naked in front of people? He said it was immoral. I never said it was immoral. So now he has to explain why his God has allowed this immoral.
What did I tell you? When you asked me the question, I said I can't think of any reason why God would want someone for 3 years to be naked.
Now you can think of one.
Look, you're interrupting now. Let me finish.
Okay.
Let me finish. Don't think you've won this.
Okay.
I haven't finished yet.
Okay.
So hold on there.
Right.
Your emphasis was mainly on a rock running away with clothes. Am I right?
No.
You can't believe that.
No, because this point started about the nakedness of a prophet.
No.
Hold on.
Was
a side point.
Can you answer the question? If God was... I'm not diverting.
Stick to the nakedness.
You mentioned...
Again, because he's going to go to the Trinity.
Hold on.
About immorality.
Why are you so scared of the Trinity? Why are you Christians scared of the Trinity?
You see?
I'm not going to bring the Trinity here, but why are you scared?
God rising.
Can you please let me finish without you interrupting?
We want to talk about the nakedness.
When you asked me the question, I answered your question, did I not? I did not complain and whinge like the way you're doing. So can you Christians please stop whinging?
All right.
Okay, stop complaining. Okay. Let me ask you something. With the clothes of Moses, can he do it?
Well, the answer to that question would be, now when he asked about Isaiah, we asked about the conditions God could do something. So now he's again appealing to what
Can you please speak to me and answer the question to me?
So
answer his question,
my answer to the
then
question.
ask your question. Answer his question.
My answer to the
It's a
question
yes or
would
no,
be,
very simple.
Thank you, Femi.
yes, God can do all things.
Good. So you shouldn't be laughing earlier. He believes that the rock can run with the clothes. That's what you mocking earlier. By the way,
I don't
I'm
believe
coming to
any
that.
rock has run with any stones.
Can a rock give?
But it hasn't.
Can a rock
It
testify?
hasn't.
Okay. Can a rock
No rock
testify?
has.
Can a rock testify?
Answer,
Yes.
he's diverting.
No.
He's diverting.
He said he hasn't.
Answer about the.
I am coming to that.
Okay.
I'm coming to that.
All right.
But before that,
No, I answered now. He's going to try and ask me another.
no. I'm going to show where you're wrong. I'm going to show. I want divert. Yes. Your own Bible gives an answer about a rock. It says in Joshua 24:25. On that day, Joshua made a covenant for the people, and there I can't say
Yes.
Shechem. How you say it?
Yeah.
Shechem. He reaffirmed for them
Yes.
decrees and laws, and Joshua recorded these things in the book of the law of God. Then he took a large stone and set it up under the oak near the holy place of the Lord. And then he said, see, he said to all the people, this stone will be a witness against us. A stone bearing witness. Yes? If a stone can bear witness, why can't it run?
Where the stone
Can I
starts
wait? Okay, wait a minute. And then he says, it has, I didn't say about nakedness, did I? I said a stone can do
He's not
things.
interested in nakedness.
I will come to that next.
Okay.
Don't feel uneasy. All right, just exposing your mockery earlier about a stone running away. It says in your own Bible, so unless you disbelieve your Bible, that's a different thing. See, he said, to all people, this stone will be a witness against us. It has heard all the words the Lord has said to us. It will be a witness against you if you are untrue to your God. So next time they bring up about the black stone giving witness on the day of judgment, bring this verse. It is in Joshua chapter 24 verse 25. Okay, now we address the nakedness. Okay, no problem. Now with regards to Musa alayhi salam, yes, what was the allegation that the Jews were basically making against him? From the hadith you read.
Nakedness.
Yeah,
Because don't let us move from nakedness now.
I want to go again.
Yeah.
I want to
Ask two questions.
hold on, I'm coming to that. Calm down, Femi. So what was the allegation made against him?
Make your statement. Because you're asking me questions.
No, but I want to know if you understood the hadith.
Yes.
Have you understood the hadith?
Explain it to me.
Have you understood the
Explain
hadith?
it.
I will, but have you understood
Yes,
the hadith?
now explain
Okay,
it.
so what is it you understood?
Explain it.
I
to
will,
me.
after you tell me what you understood.
No. Make your statement and then I'll respond.
So in other words, you haven't understood the hadith.
Make your statement and I'll
Okay,
respond.
my statement,
Yes.
or my basically the take that I got from the hadith is that Moses was being alleged that he has got some problem in his body, some disease or whatever it is. Yes, these are Musa alayhi salam, because Moses was covering his body most of the time. So they were making allegations against him that maybe he has got some deformity, some disease or something else. Okay. Did he say hernia?
Yeah, scrotal hernia.
Yeah? Show me where it says that. Because hernia is inside, not outside. I don't know where the logic these Christians get from. Hernia is not outside, it's inside.
Quick question.
No, okay. You always come for quick question while I'm having a discussion.
If you believe in Musa,
Please.
if you believe
Stop
in
it.
Musa, how come you couldn't run him down?
Sorry.
How come you argue with
There. Either leprosy or scrotal hernia.
hundreds of thousands?
So now, just so
Okay.
people can see, because he said that is scrotal hernia. You can see the testicles there. So that's scrotal hernia.
Okay, that's an inside picture, not outside.
Yeah, but I'm saying
Internal.
So
That's what I'm telling you, it's internal.
It's internal. So why did Allah make them see his full nakedness? Yeah.
Like I told you.
If they can't see inside,
Hold
so
on.
now
Hold
you've
on.
made Allah's
So basically,
actions
no, I'm not. I'm not
Yes,
making
you
it.
have.
I haven't even
Because if
finished.
scrotal hernia is inside. How can they see?
I haven't finished it yet.
Alright.
Whatever deformity or whatever basically problem that they were alleging,
Okay.
did Moses have them?
You tell me.
No, he did not have them.
Okay.
Now, remember, this is Allah's messenger. Yes? Allah doesn't say, like in the Bible, He says that Jesus is cursed. He doesn't basically let
My
His
version.
prophets be insulted. So now, because Allah wanted to clear all the allegations against him, yes, Allah made His nakedness appear to whom? Only a few of them. Most likely the people who were making the allegations, not his family, not the people all around the city or the country for 3 years. Yes, it was. But you see, the reason for that is to show that these people were making false allegations, and to basically prove them wrong, Allah made this clear to them. Now you can shake your head, but unlike Isaiah, yes, he didn't even know if it was Egypt and Ethiopia. He went into Israel. They bring up the hadith and they actually scrutinize it, and they know even the Habniya bit in it, but their own Bible, they don't scrutinize it, because they know that walking for 3 years, yes, even he wouldn't do it. If Allah wants to show you naked, he will do it himself. He doesn't need to basically impose it on a person to walk for 3 years. Now, with regards to, look, Musa alayhi salam, there was a reason for it.
Oh,
and the reason,
there's a valid reason. That's why I asked him initially.
What did I tell you?
God, is there ever a valid reason that God can cause someone to be naked?
yes.
He did not go with it. He said it was immoral.
Yes, he did.
I never said the word it was immoral. I said if God told me to do it, I would do it.
I don't think you were listening. I said, look, paper boy.
Yes.
I said for 3 years.
Yes.
Okay, I gave you 3 reasons. I gave you one for 3 years. So
When you've asked me a question, I've said make your statement.
Maybe he doesn't remember.
no,
I'm being
no. I
consistent.
answered your question.
I'm saying make your
And
statement.
because you don't remember,
make your
because you don't, you know, this is what I don't like about you.
Okay.
One thing is you do not acknowledge things. Yes? Do you remember my question or not? Sorry, my answer or not? Okay, so in other words, once again, he doesn't want to acknowledge things. I said if it was just for 10 minutes and only few people see, yes, that is something that can be tolerated by that one person. How many people are going to see him? But in this case of Moses, how many people do you think saw him?
Quite a few people.
Where does it say quite a few people?
Well, he's run, so we.
Where does it say quite a few
Okay,
people?
Show me in the Bible.
No, you
where-
made a statement.
Now,
You made a statement.
Because now he's gonna. If we go to the Bible, show me where Isaiah it said all the women, all the children, everyone.
I didn't say all. I didn't say all.
So show me how many
I
people
said
saw him naked.
when
Show me how many people saw him naked.
No, but you said.
Show me how
wait,
many
wait.
people saw him
Before
naked. See?
I asked you the question first.
Yes.
You said many people. Where's the evidence for that?
He said few. Didn't you say few?
Where's the evidence?
Show me.
No, you said
Answer my question and then I'll answer yours.
What's your question? Yes.
Seriously,
Yeah,
how
can
many
you-
people saw Moses?
How many people?
Yeah.
Let's see what the hadith says.
Oh, he's going to read it? Finally? Good.
600,000.
so as to be sure.
Where's the proof? Where's the proof?
Check in the Old Testament, not in the Quran.
You don't even know the topic we're talking about, Old Testament.
I don't know.
He wants to say Moses in the Old Testament from the
No,
Hadith.
sorry.
You're pushing me.
So it said till he reached a group of
Wait,
Bani
wait.
Israel who saw him naked.
Sorry, what does it
Now,
say? What does it say?
Until he, it says until he reached a group of Bani Israel.
Yes. A group.
Who saw
A
him
group
naked.
can be 3 people.
Now,
They can- I can be one
wait. Now, remember, it was also children that were mocking him. So what person goes and exposes themselves to young children?
And a group
Okay.
can be 10,000.
Because if anyone goes and does that here, they'll go and get arrested. If children
Okay.
are mocking
You know
me,
what is the
and I
most-
go and pull down my trousers, what do you think is going to happen?
Okay.
They're going to call that indecent exposure to young children. This is why
Okay.
we have...
Can I say that?
You know what? That's
He asked me a question because I.
No, wait, let me answer this.
Can I just quickly touch with 10
Yeah,
seconds?
sure.
Because who here
Wait.
believes it
He
is
said,
right
one second,
Paper boy.
one second.
because he was saying
One second,
it's
I just
wrong.
quickly, 10 seconds. He said to me, how is your prophet a prophet? Because he got affected by magic.
That's another
your God got
discussion,
tempted-
man.
Your God got tempted
That
by
is
Satan.
another
Your God got
discussion.
tempted by
40 days.
Satan.
40
If you
days.
wanna- Okay, bye.
Okay, so in other words,
That's
wait.
enough for me.
So let me ask you this question. Did Moses do it voluntarily, whatever he did?
Did he do it voluntarily?
Yes.
This is why I asked him the
Can you
question.
please answer the question?
Is there any circumstance which it is okay for a prophet to be naked? That's what I started off with. He didn't give any reason.
Can you please answer my question?
He didn't
Did
give any
Moses do it
reason.
voluntarily?
Did he do it voluntarily?
Yes.
No.
Good.
He was forced to do it.
Forced?
But at least Isaiah.
Wait, wait.
was asked
Who
to do
forced
it.
him? Who forced him?
The stone taking his clothes.
So was it his fault?
Yes.
How is it his
He
fault?
left his clothes on the stone.
And how is it his fault?
What?
How is it his fault?
If I leave my possession somewhere and it goes missing,
was
who's
forced. He was
responsible?
forced, the stone.
Exactly.
So you're saying it was Moses' fault. He left his clothes
Yes.
on a stone
That ran
and the
away.
stone walked away with
So
him.
he was forced to run after the
Okay.
stone.
So in
to
other,
get his clothes.
by the way,
exactly.
you know when somebody's forced
So
to do
he felt shamed running naked.
was forced.
Was he asked?
Okay.
Because he said
You know what?
Isaiah, his family would feel shamed. He wasn't
Paper
asked,
boy,
blah, blah,
paper
blah.
boy, I know you like to have your moment of victory, but let me remind you something. There is another question I asked you, remember?
What's that?
Another point I made.
Okay.
Unless it is under duress. And I told you the meaning of duress. What was the meaning?
Force.
Yes.
Thank you. So you have answered my question.
Okay.
So you yourself said Moses was forced by the
So why
circumstance.
would-
Wait.
All right.
So your victory goes out the window again because in fact I already made this point
okay.
that he was forced under duress. Sorry, not duress, by the circumstance. Okay. So
okay.
now he has agreed that he's
Under
been forced.
duress.
No, I didn't say duress. I said forced by the circumstance.
Okay.
Okay. It wasn't Moses' fault. Number one, he didn't do it voluntarily. No one imposed it on him. In fact, he used the word force. I wouldn't use the word force. I said it was a circumstance which made him, because you see, Moses was so, basically, he was so much worried about his, about exposing himself, yes, that he would always cover himself. That shows that Moses was a moral person, upright person, yes. He wasn't voluntarily, he did not choose himself to go about walking naked. Because Isaiah, when he was instructed, then he went voluntarily. He wasn't forced in a way. But in this case, imagine this. If you were taking a bath in a lake or somewhere, and your clothes go missing, and you have no clothes, nowhere to turn, would you not look around and then try to find clothes or some form of cover? That is exactly what Moses did. When he was forced by the circumstance, he went looking for his clothes, and I think he must have been more shocked than many people when he saw the stone running away, so he ran after the stone. But you see, the important point here is this. Number one, Moses wanted to run after that to cover himself, not to be exposed and be naked like the way you wanted to show us. The reason he went after the clothes is because he wanted to cover himself as soon as possible. He didn't want to stay in a situation where he's naked. However, was Isaiah in a rush to cover himself? No. He went about how long? 3 entire years. Not 10 minutes in front of a group. By the way, a group can be 2 people, 3 people, let's say 5 people, let's say even 10 people. The important point is that he made every effort to cover himself.
How long?
So,
For how long?
doesn't matter. Oh, sorry, it wasn't 3 years in the case of Moses.
Okay.
I
So
say,
now
Isaiah was 3 years.
we are seeing
Yeah.
the mental gymnastics.
It wasn't mental, it was quite logical.
Because God instructed his
Okay, now
prophet
you're going to keep
do
repeating.
something. Now,
Can you answer my question
He
now?
was given
My
all
point.
these reasons. Moses was forced. He had to go and chase his clothes, blah, blah, blah. We have more.
Oh, you're going to change the topic now?
Sorry. No.
You're going to change the topic?
Whilst Allah's
is it
messenger
nakedness? Is it
was
nakedness?
carrying stones. This is the
So another topic now.
364.
Is it another topic?
Whilst Allah's
Is it another
messenger
topic?
was carrying stones.
Answer his question.
About nakedness. Okay.
Is it another topic? According
No, same naked.
Can you please answer the point I made at the end?
Same naked.
Listen, wait,
Let me
You know,
make
every
my
point,
statement. Let me make
wait a
my
minute.
statement.
Every point you
were
made,
talking for like 10 minutes. Now
wait,
let me
hold on.
speak.
I talked for
Have to
10 minutes. Can you at least respond to what I said?
Yes.
Instead of you just trying to negate it by saying blah, blah,
Yeah,
blah,
I'm going
can
to,
you
I'm
respond?
responding in my
But-
own way with another heading.
No.
Which will show you
No,
who
respond
contradicts himself.
to the one that I
will.
said.
I'm answering it in my own way.
Okay.
So now, it says,
Bro,
this is Sahih Bukhari
Get it from,
364. Whilst Allah's messenger was carrying stones with the people of Mecca for the building of the Kaaba, wearing an izar, waist sheet cover. That's what it is. His uncle Al-Abbas said to him, "Oh, my nephew, it would be better if you take off your izar and put it over your shoulder underneath the stones." So he took off his izar and put it over his shoulders, but he fell unconscious, and since then he has never been seen naked.
so which I...
Now Isaiah was naked. Why didn't he say naked wasn't naked?
Because you didn't say it.
Why?
You did not say it.
You're the one who but he's the one who brings this to Christians.
Let's look at the
and
term.
asks them to explain it. But now
you're doing it again.
What does
you're doing it again. Instead of you responding to me like the way I've been doing, I don't do this to other people, okay? When I respond to you, you know you have come here to win points. And clearly, you clearly have. The way you are, the way you are.
Immoral.
Okay.
First, prophets being naked was immoral. Now we have your prophet being naked with no reason.
Wait a minute.
To cover the
wait a minute. When you use the term naked in English, what do you understand?
Having no clothing on the body, nude.
Yeah, what is it
naked?
Next? What is it next?
Having no covering, especially the usual one, a naked sword. Having no covering.
Wait, have we noticed when it came to Moses, we had no definition of
clothing
naked.
on the
Now,
body.
when we had Isaiah, there was no definition of naked. Now we brought up the hadith about his prophet being naked. The question is,
what the Prophet being naked. Look,
you see, there's double standard.
Rose from supper and laid aside his garments, and taking a towel, he girded himself about. Then he poured water into the basin and began to wash the disciples' feet and to wipe them with the towel with which he was girded. And so he...
Yes, we do use this term in English, and you know that, yes? So when you say naked, it doesn't mean you're fully nude. It can mean that, I'm not saying no. However, whenever the people of that time, when they used to wear izar, yes, they used to wear things underneath, very much possible. There's nothing wrong in that. Possible. Yes, just like when Jesus, wait a minute, hold on. Just like it was completely factual, completely true, that during the time of the crucifixion, whoever they crucified, they were completely naked. So Jesus most likely hung naked on the cross. He most likely hung naked on the cross, completely nude. The reason you see all these posters and all this, I'm using the same point. Like he changed, like he's able. I'm answering. My turn. I know you don't like your God hanging naked on the cross, but that is a fact. Yes, when Jesus was circumcised, your God, he was obviously naked. Yes, the foreskin which was circumcised by other human beings, he was naked. So your God was naked in front of other people. Now, if you want to, look, if you really want to understand the term naked in the context of the hadith which you brought out about the Prophet ﷺ's izar, and by the way, building of the Kaaba, was it before he became a prophet or after?
It doesn't matter.
It does. It does.
Naked man.
Remember, we are talking about the. Hold on. No, it was about nakedness of a prophet. Okay. That was the topic. Remember. So the question is this: was the Rasul ﷺ
right? Infallible man is naked in front of people. No, Muhammad was the best of mankind. Even before he was a prophet, his character was utmost.
If a God can be naked on a cross in front of people who crucified him, upright, infallible God, the man God of him, you can
you see he's diverse.
What is the evidence? The evidence is this. Go and look up how they used to crucify the Romans. They don't care about you guys wearing clothes. In fact, they wouldn't even give them a decent burial. But according to the Bible, he got a decent burial. And then he disappeared one day. No, it's not. I give you an answer. I said, did the Rasul ﷺ became a messenger at that time? Okay? We are talking about a time maybe before the Nubuwwat. The topic here is about a nakedness of a prophet of God. Upright, when are they called upright? When they have become a prophet. Because then they have given a different, role to play with. Diversion to your God?
Answer that.
I've answered it. Okay, now my turn.
I've answered